I call this story The Rifleman Buys a Hot Dog. So it's around 1980, maybe early 80s, which makes me about mid 20s to late 20s, somewhere in that area. For my business, I had a flight to take, and it was going to be out of the Oakland airport mid afternoon. And so the Oakland airport at the time was a much smaller airport than it is now, only had one terminal. And there was a bar in that terminal, a cafe bar combo, which had a large counter, kind of in an L shaped um, counter. And so I had some time to kill before my flight, so I thought I'd go in and get a drink. And so the bar was pretty empty. When I walked in, though, I noticed there was three guys sitting on the bottom side of the L, and so I decided to give them their space, and so I sat on the long side of the L all by myself and ordered a drink. While I was there, and I was just kind of glancing and hearing the chatter from these three guys at the other end, I noticed, glancing at them, that it was an older guy in the middle, flanked by two younger guys. And the older guy was clearly the center of attention. The younger guys were very much, seemed to be kind of catering to the older guy. And very animated, very lively, kind of talking, laughing, joking. And the older guy looked familiar in some way, but I couldn't quite place it. And then I thought and thought. I'm kind of watching, glancing, and then suddenly it dawned on me. This is this was the actor Chuck Connors, who played as the lead in one of my favorite Western TV westerns when I was growing up, called The Rifleman, which played in the late 50s, early 60s. And he was quite a big hero. I really, really, thought that the character he played was just this tremendous Western hero guy. And here he was. And so now I'm really fascinated, and I'm kind of watching this whole thing out of the corner of my eye. I think I'm so sly, right? As if I'm I'm undetected. At some point, sure enough, Connors, who clearly noticed me watching them, he says in a loud voice across the bar, "Hey, do you want a hot dog?" I'm like, "Sure." Anyhow, so Connors orders the barman over and orders a hot dog for me, and so I wait, and the hot dog comes, and so I sit there eating a hot dog all by myself. Yeah, later in life, as I gained a little more experience in social settings and cues, et cetera, I'm positive that what Connors was doing was inviting me to join them. Anyhow, I wasn't there, and I was a bit shy at the time, probably less confident, and so anyhow, but now at least I have kind of what felt like the permission to eat my hot dog and watch more openly, right, what's going on in this conversation. And the other three guys are eating hot dogs and talking and joking, and it just, I wanted so much to be a part of that, but anyhow, I wasn't. As I finished my hot dog, I thought, I should go thank Chuck Connors for the hot dog. So I got up and I started walking over. Connor sees me, so immediately he's up and he starts walking over to meet me, and he's got his hand out to shake my hand, and he's got a very warm smile and very friendly. And so we shook hands, and I thanked him for the hot dog, and that's about all I could get out because I was meeting a boyhood hero and a star and all that. I'm not used to that, wasn't used to that, and so I got a little tongue tied, and so it didn't go any further than that. But I was very impressed by meeting Chuck Connors in two ways. I've always been a very tall guy, and at the time I was about 6'5". Connors was looking at me straight on, and that's unusual, especially for people that in public settings. Not that many tall people, but secondly, in shaking his hand, I was really surprised by the size of his hands. I I grew up with a dad. My dad was a journeyman carpenter, and almost every carpenter that I've come to know and met had large, muscular hands. My dad did, but Chuck Connor's hands made my dad's hands feel small in comparison. Pretty impressive. So, anyhow, long story short, my meeting with Chuck Connors, he really fit the bill for me, fulfilled that kind of expectation and vision of what I had for the true Western hero, larger than life in so many ways. Thank you very much.